Ladies and gentlemen, American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Bulldog Show. And remember, immediately on this video, we'll follow the Bulldog TV local news and then the world news. So stay tuned. We're putting all three shows in the same video. Watch what you like. Beginning of this show, headliner, Zelensky. He comes and he speaks to the joint session in Congress. He comes out and speaks with Joe Biden. Asks for $40 billion more. It's going to be over $100 billion. Biden's going to give it to him, give him the Patriot missiles. And I think that I am the only person in the United States that has adopted this position, which is follows. Number one, Putin is a tyrant. He's a bad guy, KGB. Number two, Ukraine is notoriously a corrupt country and remains such. Number three, I'm all for Ukraine stopping Russia's aggression. But, and I'm the only one, can't we say they're both bad? Can't we say they're both bad? And not only that, remember what my position is. Unlike anybody else, what makes me so mad about giving them money, we could have avoided this war. Joe Biden wanted this war. Wanted it. We could have supported Ukraine from that invasion. Few simple things. No-fly zone over Ukraine. Number two, we're going to put NATO and United States tanks on the border. Folks, we wouldn't have had to use them. It wouldn't have had to use them. We could have backed Putin down. Instead, we got the mess. And now we're paying for the mess. We could have paid nothing to avoid the mess. But Biden wanted this mess. He's embracing the war for political purposes. Go back where Biden was floundering all over this country before this war. Oldest trick in the book, and it's sick. Trump didn't start a war. Joe Biden let a war start. It's disgusting. God, it makes me so mad. Omnibus bill stalls. Don't you love they call it an omnibus bill? Well, they just call it a bill. You know, omnibus bill, filled with stuff, but it's stalled for now. Manchin and others are speaking out. We'll see what happens to it. 1.7 coming your way. Well, I love this. The counter to the clown committee, Jim Jordan and company released a 150-page report pointing out how Nancy Pelosi, the Capitol Police, colluded to create this baloney. It's unbelievable. Christopher Wray says, oh, this stuff going on Twitter, it happens all the time. This is no big deal. It's a joke. Christopher Wray is a bushy. He's a swamp creature that they put in position. Why? Because the McConnell-like types told Trump that Christopher Wray'd be a good guy. Early plea by girlfriend always is bad news. Sam Bankman-Fried's girlfriend has pled guilty already. He's in trouble. Now, this story disturbs the hell out of me. Now, I'm one of these moderates when it comes to conspiracies, okay? First off, I hate Alex Jones. I'm one of the few people that would be considered a conservative, a right-winger, libertarian who says that. What he did about Sandy Hook is this. I mean, why does anybody listen to Alex Jones anymore? You know, what he said about Sandy Hook. But all these people that tell me about the blood thing with minors and things, and I say, I don't know if I really believe all that. You know, by the way, I am somebody that believes the CIA was involved in Kennedy's assassination. And what happens yesterday? Mail Online reports they have, I mean, this is unfathomable to me. 400 pedophile dens in the Los Angeles area. What? 400? And ask yourself, those kids trafficked and captured in those dens, where are they coming from? Where are they coming from? I bet you I know where they're coming from. They're coming from that border, the drug cartels. Folks, there is a battle going on in this country, a good versus evil, like nothing. Thus, I posted the famous Teddy Roosevelt quote yesterday, we stand at Armageddon and we battle for the Lord. I think we do. Texas is being invaded. It's a full-blown invasion. and we don't do anything about it. And I got to choose my words really carefully here, because we know all the censorship and all that. But where this country is headed is scary as hell. And the only thing that is going to stop it and reverse it are going to be individuals like you and I with the guts and the courage and the knowledge to fight back. You know, there's a famous map going around, meme, where the blue is the blue parts of the map, which is the very small part of the United States geographically. It's Happy Holidays. And then the big red part of the state, most of the United States, where it's Merry Christmas. All of us that live in those red sections, which is 95% geographically of the country. 95% of the country thinks like you and me, geographically. We are going to have to do something. Before it's over, I don't know what that is, before it's over, we're going to have to do something. A majority of Americans believe that our country is worse now under Joe Biden. Who can disagree with that? Really? Really? Stay tuned. Following right up after this is the Bulldog Local News. Ladies and gentlemen, American jury and Bulldog Nation, our lead story today is the woke media in the tri-state. And the reason why I pound this is because its effect on all of us and everything. And let me tell you how it begins, or how it began and why it's here. What happens is that all of our news comes from national news media. Enquirer and all the other 4 television stations and WLW radio are owned nationally. And then the Northern Kentucky Tribune and Link are all sponsored by the local corporates, like St. Elizabeth Medical Center. So that leaves Bulldog Media for you to get some straight talk. So what's happened is due to both the local corporate folks and the national corporate folks, they have to adopt all the national corporate wokeness that goes on. So despite yours and my political beliefs, which is prominent in the tri-state area, they will post things on their social media page where they'll ask a question like, do you agree with this? And they obviously do, but none of us do. It goes on and on and on. And the effect is everybody gets scared. So it's the ripple effect, just like in the national media, the same effect is in the local media. Every big company doesn't want to stand up to that. In the tri-state, in the Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area, and I know you got so many are going to nod your heads, we are blessed with an incredible number of family-owned private businesses in nearly every trade profession you can think of. I mean, you're talking about construction companies, builders, you name it. The problem is those companies, and I talk to these people, those companies, they stay quiet despite their beliefs because they don't want to run up against the woke wall from the media and the national corporate types. So it's a cascading effect of wokeness. Then what you have is all the governments, from school boards on up to city councils to county governments, all follow that woke line on every issue. So that's what transpires. So nobody stands up to it except me. It boggles my mind, to be candid with you. I'm the only one with a big platform standing up to the liberal media in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area and state area. I mean, you can't make this up. In Kentucky, Savannah Maddox dropping out. Only the Lexington Herald Leader mentioned me as a candidate, and so did Link. Think about that. Matt Jones, this is hysterical. Matt Jones The chicken who's afraid to run for public office down on a radio station, he referred to me as that loud dude from Kenton County. Didn't mention my name. And I'm going to be doing some videos today that I want you to watch. And if you're part of my team and supporters, share. But folks, you got to digest this. I am taking the chance that all of you are going to help me spread this word so you know that I am the anti-media candidate. And you should elect me. Now let's get on to our next news. Law and crime. Both directions of I-71 had to be shut down by police last night because of a reckless driver. The driver would not pull over for police, so stop sticks were used to disable the vehicle. The Cincinnati man was eventually arrested near Lebanon. Butler County Auditor Roger Reynolds was found guilty of unlawful interest in a public contract. Reynolds escaped 4 other charges involving bribery and unuseful use of power. He'll have to step down from public office now that he's been convicted of a felony. Man, he almost pulled it off, didn't he? UC and Miami University are among multiple Ohio universities facing lawsuits centered around online learning. The lawsuits involve students that claim online class practices adopted during the pandemic were unacceptable. The students are seeking partial refunds for tuition paid for the spring session. Why not? You're paying for teachers and you do online? Local news. Multiple families are claiming the UC Medical Center has misplaced remains of their stillborn babies. Tori Royston misplaced the remains of her twin girls early in November, and their remains were lost. Hospital staff presented the twins' remains to Royston this week, but she'll DNA test them for confirmation. This is the second case reported this week of lost remains being replaced at the facility. Cincinnati-based MedPace has announced they'll invest over $150 million to expand operations in town. You know why? They got contracts with all these hospitals. Corporate health care at work. MedPace, the clinical research organization, has operations in 40 countries across 6 continents. They'll construct a new building and parking garage, which will increase their employment by 80%. Cincinnati has announced they'll convert 23 community centers as warming centers on Thursday and Friday. Centers will be open during regular business hours, and membership is not required to use a warming center. Our Kentucky Governor, Andy Beshear, had to come out and tell us to stay inside. Thanks, Andy Rogers. Kentucky State News. Kentucky officials have issued a state emergency for the extreme weather expected. You already know that. Outgoing Democratic Rep Buddy Wheatley has announced he'll run for Kentucky's Secretary of State position. Stephanie Dietz beat old Buddy. I don't have any issues against Buddy Wheatley, but he is a Democrat, and he's married to a good woman. Wheatley from Covington has been in office since 2019, representing District 65. Wheatley lost his re-election bid to Republican Stephanie Dietz in November. In Ohio State news, some are questioning if Ohio's betting industry helped Mike DeWine get re-elected with a $1 million donation. You think? The group donated the money to a nonprofit group that helped get the governor re-elected. Speculation is the gaming groups hope to keep DeWine in office for a key decision making sports betting advances. I support full-blown gaming, sports gaming, casino gaming, and I have not received a check from anybody. In sports, 3 Bengals were named to the AFC Pro Bowl team Wednesday. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Trey Hendrickson. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day. Stick around next for World News with Jamie Spindley, my mate.
Hello, Bulldog Nation. This is Bulldog TV World News, the latest headlines. The Ukrainian president received a standing ovation as he addressed the U.S. Congress, vowing his nation will never surrender, and there will be no compromises in trying to bring an end to the war with Russia. The Kremlin warned that increasing the supplies of U.S. arms to Ukraine would aggravate the 10-month war ignited by Russian invasion. The head of the World Health Organization are very concerned about the rising causes of the coronavirus across China after it largely abandoned its zero-COVID policy. A major winter storm sweeping the U.S. this week may bring the coldest Christmas in 4 decades to most parts of the country. And finally, a woman in Texas transforms her entire home into a life-size gingerbread house for Christmas. Are you ready for this, folks? I think the house is definitely gingerbready for the holidays. Until tomorrow, take care. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.